This morning, we're going to be talking a little bit about death. And I have one of my favorite journaling questions that really pulls out a lot of positive emotion out of me, really gets me into the present moment, and just realizes, holy crap, this is actually what's really important to me. So we're going to go over a bunch of stuff, this main question that we have, and then essentially a bunch of things that we'll miss along the way to help us enjoy ourselves, to have more present moments, and care and love about the people we do most. Cheers, friends. Enjoy the morning show. It's going to be a banger. Let's go. Sorry, folks, just doing a little audio check. All right. I think I'm already good to go. Sweet. All right. My microphone was not working. Okay. Good morning. We are ready to go. This morning, we're talking about death. Sorry, folks. But let's go ahead and get right to the board. We have a journaling prompt question to help with this death question. All right, folks, I need some chalk over here. You know, one of the pains in my butt from this the show, I mean, I absolutely love doing it, but it's cleaning up this chalk all the time, and it's like dusty and stuff like that, and it gets in my nose, and it's a real mess. We're going to work, folks, so going right to the chalkboard. So this question about death, I want to ask you, if you were in 24 hours, you were sentenced to death, what would you miss? You miss. If you were in 24 hours, so in one day from today, so tomorrow morning, you were sentenced to death, what would you miss? This is a great question because though I've gotten other questions about death like, oh, you know, what do you want to do before you die? Or if you had all the money in the world, what would you want to do? And it kind of put a lot of, to me, it just felt like I was saying a bunch of things and I was writing a bunch of things that I didn't really believe I needed to have, versus if I was going to die tomorrow, like, holy crap, I got one day before I go, what would you really long for? And I think I put in this prompt over here, and we'll go over some of these, and then I'll kind of nail on some of my answers as well. But use that question as just your journaling prompt for this morning, and then maybe use some of these answers as brainstorms as well. Kind of just some of the really exciting things that makes being alive and human so real. So connections with loved ones, and the first one that comes up. Imagine just boom, your connection with loved ones is gone. It's stripped from you. I think this happens a lot more here in America. We've gotten so comfortable. We've had a pretty long, what has it been, like 80 years since like we've really, really been involved in a war, like to a larger extent. I think it's like it's so easy to take for granted the experiences I get to just seeing my girlfriend, hearing her laugh, just hearing her talk, talking to my mom, my sister, my brother on the phone, being able to just connect with my loved ones. Like, just imagine that, you not being able to do that. It makes my business problems, it makes all of my other problems just seem ridiculous. Experiencing new things, like going to a new place for the first time that you really gets you excited, or trying like eating something delicious that you haven't tried before. Imagine just not being able to do that ever again. Accomplishments. So what's like one of your best accomplishments? Did you get a college degree? Did you have a child? Did you like travel? Did you grow a business? These accomplishments, I believe, make life so. And imagine if we just couldn't, there was nothing we could strive for anymore. I want to do a morning show on, I believe striving is actually a huge part of suffering, because it's a counterbalance with intent, but we have a lot of natural desires to strive for great things and goals and stuff to feel fulfilled and accomplished. So it's a weird clusterfuck. We'll break that down another day. But just for this sake, not being able to have these accomplishments. Next up, this one's absolutely huge for me as well. Just the beauty of nature. Just hearing the birds sing, just hearing the wind blow or the rain fall or just the sunshine on my face. You got 20 minutes left and you just feel the sun on your face and you're like, no, I don't want to give this up. Like, this is really what's important to me. And as we're going through this list, we're just through 4 of them. You can really start to see, like, holy man, this is the stuff that actually really matters. When we, like, hey, if you had all the money in the world, what would you want to do? And this and that. And I think that pulls us, those types of questions pull us away really from what we love most, what we miss. But if I told you you only had a day to live, and tell me all the things that you would miss about life, what are the things you don't want to let go of? Like, it would be the beauty of nature, the sun shining, the sound of get out of town, the water lapping onto a beach. Man, that stuff's, even me, just next up is learning and growth. Me just reading books. I freaking love reading books. Or a really good movie. Sitting down with my girlfriend watching a really good movie, and she makes this delicious homemade popcorn, and it's, man, these moments, you would do anything just to get another one, right? Joys and hobbies and passions. Maybe you have a hobby that you absolutely love. Simple pleasures, simple pleasures. Embracing challenges. It turns out we actually do want to be challenged. Oh, come on, scroll for me. There it goes. Okay, cool. Embracing challenges. So just it turns out that if we didn't have challenges, we didn't have problems, and we didn't have pains, life would probably be pretty boring. Maybe it's a moment of laughter, maybe just sharing jokes or something funny. This is something I've talked to my girlfriend over dinner recently. I really want to make it my goal to laugh more and not be so serious, because it kind of ties into our journaling question of the day of life is really fragile. Let me go ahead and get a I want to get this journaling question on the prompt here so you guys can read it as we're going through it. I think that would be a little bit better. Okay. So if you're just now tuning in with us, folks, this is the question at the bottom that you see is our journaling question for the day. And we're just going over, if you were sentenced to death in 24 hours, what would you miss about life? I would say laughing. I would miss laughing a whole lot. Memories, just feeling emotions, I think emotions prove that we're alive, milestones, sense of purpose, personal growth. But really my favorite ones in the top one that I would miss the most is just my connection with my loved ones. Like, what am I really even here for? What are we really doing this for? For our families, for our friends? I mean, I've traveled. So I lived out of my car a couple different times, and I've told this story a lot, but either way, it relates well. So living out of my car a couple times, I did a lot of this solo, and I've more recently been able to travel with my friends, and it's incredible to me how much more meaningful these experiences are. I could be in Yosemite Valley, but if I'm with my best friends, if I'm with my family, if I'm with people I love and care about, it's just not, the ball game's totally different. So if I had 24 hours to live, and I would miss my connection with my loved ones to a whole different level. And then the next one would probably be the beauty of nature. The beauty of nature, the chaos of nature, just hearing the birds, just like water and sunshine and all these things. Just, I mean, man, couldn't imagine going without experiencing new things. We talked about food and that kind of stuff, but and these are a lot of the things I would miss. I think there was one thing I wanted to put on the board that I think is really helpful this morning. So say if you were sentenced to death in 24 hours, what would you miss about life? And seriously think about this. Like, what would you genuinely miss? Because we don't know what we don't know. Whether, I mean, if you are religious and you do have faith, and that works out, then that's absolutely beautiful too. But for this, on the actual life aspect of it, I think getting our senses involved, kind of like thinking our sight, our taste, touch, getting our senses involved, I think, is a great opportunity for us to just experience life at a deeper level. Like, what would you really miss? Is it the feeling? Is it the emotion? Is the movement? I think getting our senses involved really helps with us be happier and healthier people. So when you're journaling about the things that you would miss most, maybe you're journaling about, you're just typing out your favorite meals. Maybe you're typing characteristics about the people that you do love and care about most. But what would you really miss? And when I really think about how special these things are in my life, then it helps take a lot of the pressure off. It takes the pressure off. And that's what I think we want to do with ourselves. That's kind of hopefully the point of the exercise, is take the pressure off. Especially here in America more than anywhere else, we put on this like pressure on ourselves to be a certain way, to be a certain person, to make a certain amount of money, to show up in a certain way. And if I don't have this, I don't have permission to enjoy myself and be happy. Total horseshit, total bullshit. But we want to take the pressure off of ourselves. Who's putting the pressure on you? I used to believe that society was putting pressure on me. And then I found out nobody cares. It was me causing a ton of suffering on myself, a ton of weight, pressure on myself, when really all I cared about most was the people in my life, the quality, the delicious foods I got to eat, being out in nature, like these simple things. The more we talked about the other day, things start out simple, beautiful, bliss when we're children. And then we add complexity to our lives, but be careful with complexity because complexity is suffering in many ways. And then at the mountaintop, think of the Buddhist monks that are sitting there singing Kumbaya, doing their prayers and meditations. It comes back to the simple. It comes back to the things that mean the most. And I think the simple pleasures of life are really what we want. And that's our ability to see how much, say if you get, I get tortured by the thought of money a lot more than I would like to admit. I want to make a lot of money. I want to do this with my goals so I can provide and do this. College for children. I want to be able to travel with my family and do all this. And I get riled up about money sometimes. That's one of my faults. But then when I really think about it, like one of my friends, he has a lot more money than me. I was just talking to him on the phone. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this with my business. I'm doing this with my business. I'm making this money. It's great. But his shoulders jacked up and his knees are jacked up and he's really unhealthy. And I was like, man, I'm not going to lie to you. I think about you a lot. And I think about how jealous I am of your money. Sometimes he's like, Tanner, I think about you and your physical abilities and you're able to run and to move. And I would give up all of this money in the world just to have these healthy movements. Is that something that you would miss if you were gone? Maybe it's your ability to run. Maybe it's your ability to go on a nice walk on a sunny day. What are the things that we would miss most? So we can reframe our perspective back to the focus, the locus of control that actually matters in life, that actually matters. All the suffering stuff's about just a bunch of bullshit that's not even real. It's not even true. They're like, I'm not good enough if I don't make enough money. Says who? Me? I know someone out there in the world might think that, oh, he's not a real stud person, whatever, until he makes, you don't mean that. You don't know that. You don't know me, and vice versa, right? I don't know you. You're six. We just want to be happier, healthier people. We want to be progressing because I think there is very embedded as we become more productive, as we become better individuals, I think it makes it a lot easier to be happy. Like we want to live in alignment with our values, with our goals, these types of things. But I think we put a little too much on that bottom point, too much pressure on ourselves to do that all the time. And I think life goes very fast. And I think it's very easy to miss out on what is genuinely important. And that's what this list was about. That's what this exercise was about. Maybe you take a moment to just go outside and step on some grass and be like, holy crap, I can feel it. I'm alive. The wind comes in, sun on your face or something. It's the first day of spring. First day of spring here. So here in the Midwest, that means a lot depending on where you're at. But I want to cheers to experiencing new things. Cheers to more accomplishments. Cheers to the beauty of nature. Cheers to my girlfriend, my family, and being able to see them and love on them and nurture our relationship. Because man, screw everything else. Who gives a shit? So that's why I like this journaling question so much. So if you were sentenced to death in 24 hours, which I will remind you, if you read any history books, this used to happen a lot. What's the proof? What's the evidence? Nope, sentenced to death, you're done. If someone in high royalty didn't like you, sentenced to death, you're done. Life can be really fragile. In a lot of places in the world, it still is. So I'm not here to take things for granted. I know that life is fragile. I think taking time to write about this, to help understand what's important to me, I think it's just going to make me a happier and healthier person. I really like this exercise. This is my favorite question about death. So maybe you can learn a little bit more about death for yourself. Use this question in the prompt. It's also in the description below if you want to write about it. So cheers, friends. That's all I had for today. Was just, we're going to chat a little bit about death, taking the pressure off ourselves. What is really important? Is this really important? Maybe you're torturing yourself a little bit about money, or a little bit about your goals, or a little bit about your future, or a little bit about your job. It doesn't really matter. Cheers to that, friends. All right, I got to bounce. I got a busy day today. Got a couple coaching sessions coming up. I am taking on new clients. So if you know someone who needs a business and social media coach in their life to help pump out a bunch, help improve their social media profiles, to really help with consistent social media content, please click on the link to my website below and you can book a free call with me. Or if you really like this video, please share it with somebody. Maybe they want to learn about death. Maybe they want to learn more journaling questions to help really prioritize their focus, their locus of control on what matters most to them. Cheers, friends. Thanks so much. I'm out of here. Love you all. In case you need to hear it, you're a badass. You got this. Let's learn a little something about ourselves today. Let's focus on the things that really matter and have an awesome, awesome day. Love y'all. Peace.